field stabilized.
Moving on to the second set between Samsung Khan and Woongjin Stars. It's going to be JangBi or JangBi, whatever. I've always said JangBi, so I think I'm going to stick with that one. JangBi versus Light. Light, of course, used to be part of the big 1-2 punch on NBC games, C and Light. The 1-2 Terran punch, which helped make that team such a rocking success. Sometimes when they weren't slumping. But now NBC game, the team, does not exist. Because NBC, the channel, is now a music broadcasting channel. Maybe that's what it stands for, Music Broadcasting Channel, NBC. Kinda doubt it. But, yeah, OGN's it now. I think it's the only place you're going to see StarCraft. Don't quote me on that. Except, don't quote me on anything tonight. But down at the 5 o'clock position in green is JangBi. That means down at the 8 o'clock position in orange is Light. JangBi, your reigning OSL champ, the big rock star from last season's Gen Air OSL. And this map, another new map of course, because they're all new, is called Ground Zero. I got a glance at it before the match started, and it seems pretty standard to me. Almost a little bit boring, in fact, considering all the other changes they've been making to maps recently, but it seems very standard. 4 corners, big wide open middle, which is why I thought it would be great for Zerg players to have a big wide open middle for pincer attacks. But since neither team sent out a Zerg player, you got a Terran and a Protoss, maybe that theory is completely wrong. But of course, I remember reading some interviews before the season started that the Protoss players all got together and they were complaining that the maps were too in favor of the other two races and they would hurt Protoss players. But yeah, that's really worked out so far. I'm trying to remember the last Protoss player who lost in the previous 3 series. I can't really think of one. So Protoss are doing just fine on these new maps. There's the gateway from JangBi as he's moving out to scout. There's the barracks on top of the high ground for Light. And I guess I should talk a little bit about the Pro League changes, because there are some mighty big changes in this Pro League that set it apart from just about every other Pro League that's ever been played. First of all, the sponsor is different. That's different than every other Pro League. Not Shannon Bank anymore, it's SK Planet. So if SK Telecom T1 wins the SK Planet, I'm gonna call hijinks on that one. BS. Alright. But there are some real substantial changes to this Pro League, which has a lot of people on the internet, of course, very angry. Of course, that's what the internet is for. It's for getting angry and typing in capital letters saying, "How dare you, sir?" But yeah, there's been a lot of panic, people with their hair on fire in internet land because of the changes. Kespa being compared to Hitler, of course, because of Godwin's Law. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to lay out the big changes as the Cybernetics Corps is coming up inside of JangBi's base. They're both going to scout each other soon. But one of the first big changes is no more ace match. The final match, usually, this is the best of 5, by the way. First to get the 3 wins it all. But normally in that situation, once each team had won 2 games, you go to an ace match where you could pick any player you want to go out for the final game. That is no longer the case. Each player can only play once now, which is a change that a lot of people were upset about. Everyone loves their ace matches, Jaedong versus Bisu and whatnot. By the way, the scout did get all of the information it needed before it went down, seeing in the command center coming up. So JangBi's going to be in the know as far as that goes. Researching his Dragoon range to pressure the front as soon as he possibly can. There's no bunker there yet for Light. Of course, he does have his Marines at the front, so... Oh, JangBi, what are you doing? JangBi putting a pylon close to Light's base. Damn it, JangBi. Always ruining everything I'm going to talk about with his goofy, cheesy, weird strategies. As he did in the finals as well. I think he interrupted a couple of good stories with his incredible cheesiness in those finals. Of course, it's always wonderful to watch when JangBi goes out of his mind and does something like this. But of course, I'm not sure what his plan is. He's either going to go for mind games by hiding a pylon, or he is actually going to proxy something to the side of Light Space. Proxy robotics facility! So it's going to be early drop strategy from JangBi, but yeah, not sure if he's going to try to ferry some Dragoons in or actually go for the Reaver drop. That robotics facility is awfully close to that natural expansion, so if it's found out, if Light gets suspicious after scouting a little bit more inside of JangBi's main or scanning soon, he's probably going to know exactly where to go, to either the top side or to the right of that base. That is going to be very interesting to watch anyway, because JangBi's already pressuring the front. I think he has his Dragoon range up, and he was already firing on that bunker. And the tanks are not on the way yet. The machine shot just now coming down on the factory, so Light's going to have to pull off some SCVs if he wants to protect his front. He only has one SCV right now, and 3 Dragoons are picking at that bunker, so he's definitely going to have to pull some more off the line if he wants to, hold his front. There goes the starport coming up now for him. He does have 4 SCVs on the bunker at the front now, and that will be plenty for the time being, but yeah, Light might actually be tipped off soon by the lack of the 4th Dragoon, because usually when the Protoss players go out, they usually have about 4 or 5 Dragoons picking at that bunker at the front before the first tank emerges. So Light might get a little bit suspicious just from the amount of Dragoons at the front. Let's see if he does anything about that. This is a ferrying strategy from JangBi. He's going to ferry all of his troops inside this main and try to pick out the first tank. Oh, he was so close there. So close to getting that first tank. Ah, that almost worked out beautifully for JangBi. He was trying to get the timing just right so he could run over to the choke, block the choke, and pick off the tank. Ah, so close. So very close in doing that, but unsuccessfully. He's probably still going to get a lot of damage done inside of this main. Being chased away now by Light. Light doing an excellent job using his SCVs to block and keeping the harm away from his other troops. Of course, most of the Marines have gone down. I think, the Reaver is going to come into play now. Yes, the Reaver is in here, and the SCVs are going to have a bad day. Oh, run, SCVs, run. So Light, he better pray that he has his siege mode ready to go, but I don't think he has a siege mode. He does have a Wraith, though. The Wraith is definitely going to help against this. Use that starport straight to Wraith, and he's going to be able to pick off that shuttle, so not too much damage can get done here, but the Reaver's still inching its way towards the mining line. I think that was an awful lot of SCVs there clumped together. Could be mistaken, but that seemed like it was an awful lot of SCVs taken down by that one single Scarab, so that could have been game crippling for Light. Yeah, I don't see many SCVs at all inside of that main mining for him anymore, so I think that was very much a successful attack that is going to be fended off now finally. Now that the siege mode is out for Light, he's going to hold that high ground area, and he shouldn't have too many other problems as long as he can take down that robotics facility eventually take that down. That's going to help a lot with the observers as well. Get observers in as quickly as possible. And now JangBi is using this advantage to take his 3rd base. He's already gotten a lot of damage done already. So, just going to try to steamroll Light with economy. But yeah, it's hard to tell how many SCVs went down by that one single Scarab earlier, but it did look like an awful lot. But now that the action has kind of simmered down a tad, maybe we can talk about the other big Pro League changes. There's not going to be a grand final anymore, which has had even more people angry. Like, what? No grand final? There's going to be 2 different finals for each half of the Pro League. Still not exactly sure how that's going to work out, but who knows? It might be good. It might be terrible, but it might also be good, because most of the changes for Pro League seem very interesting and very much like they want the teams to be much more well-rounded. Yeah, with the no ace match rule, stuff like that. There's another thing I was going to talk about, but I'll probably remember it by next game. But here come the Dragoons, just trying to get there in the middle. Make sure that a giant push from Light can't happen or anything like that. But here come a couple of vultures being dropped inside of JangBi's main. He's going to be super careful here and get his observers in. But his robotics facility, interestingly enough, is going to be in a bad position for getting out those observers. Hopefully he has one in already to find these mines, but I don't see the observer yet for JangBi. He's got to shoot them across the map. Of course, that robotics facility is not even powered by a pylon. So the Observer's not going to come from there. I'm not sure where the Observers are going to come from for JangBi, but he's already pushing out. Yeah, he already had one Observer out, so he's going to be okay as far as that goes. He has one Observer, a couple of Observers, I think, hovering around the natural expansion and the main, but another one almost picked off Light. Just a little bit of missed micro from him. Almost took out that Observer, but not quite there. But oh man, the Reaver, JangBi is already pushing this front, aggressively pushing with his Reaver. Trying to get there on the high ground, get as close as he possibly can to this tank, and take out the tanks with the Scarabs, pushing the front with a ton of Dragoons as well. Looks like he's just taking Light to school here. The Reaver's still alive, getting a lot of kills. Excellent versus Terran play from JangBi today. Oh, I see what happened. Light was away with a couple of tanks for harassment, which left him open to attack at home. Oh, he's going to definitely regret going out there with that dropship. Oh boy. So forced to float back over with his natural expansion command center, but he is getting a little harassment done at JangBi's natural. But the bad part here for Light is JangBi already had his third base up and going. So Light is kind of running out of options here with his little dropship. He's probably going to try to drop behind this base a little bit, try to get a few probe kills. No, it doesn't even look like he's going to try that. He's just trying to get away as far away as possible with that dropship. No, he actually is going back to that base now, to the third base from JangBi. But JangBi has almost contained Light here inside of his main. Light's economy is going to be abysmal compared to JangBi's soon. So hopefully JangBi is able to clean up these attacks, because if he is able to clean up this harassment from Light, he's going to be okay in this game just because of how many bases he has. Almost able to snipe that command center, trying to float back. Light thought that he was close enough with those tanks to reestablish that natural expansion, but he was wrong. Going to have to get a couple more tanks a bit closer to those Dragoons, but there is a Reaver going to protect that third base just fine. Nice pylon wall there as well from JangBi to protect that third base. So JangBi's economy is booming compared to Light's. Light is stuck in that one base. Look at those SCVs sitting at the top, playing poker or hearts, something like that. Yeah, he's shooting the moon, trying to get all the hearts and the queen at once. Here comes the shuttle. I get taken down soon by the Goliath. Yes, it does. There's probably a Reaver in that shuttle. But JangBi at this point, he can afford to lose a little bit. He can definitely afford to lose a little bit because he basically has Light contained. Because Light is not able to take his second base at all. Still not able to take that second base, even with his siege tanks. I just don't think he's pushing forward enough with his siege tanks. Look, he finally is able to range everything, getting a couple of tanks on the high ground. That's going to be able to clean this up. All those Dragoons are going to die. I don't see a way they can get out of this jam. So Light finally is going to take his natural expansion again. But I'm sure that JangBi's economy is doing just fine compared to this, as long as he fends off this Vulture harassment again. There's some Vultures trying to sneak up. Probably going to try to take out a pylon, because now Light is desperate for a little bit of harassment. He's going to try everything he can to harass JangBi. But not able to get past the pylon wall again. JangBi awfully close to the mines. The minefield, and no observer in sight. And there's the third base being floated over now by Light. Going to try to take that 6 o'clock base, one of the 6 o'clock bases. Still learning more about these maps as they're played, of course. But yeah, those bases at the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock are very close together. It's kind of interesting. But 2 shuttles out now for JangBi. Probably going to sneak in, cause a lot of havoc. But no, Light is actually pushing out to get a more healthy defensive grid going to protect that base down at the 6 o'clock. Got to get that economy up and mining now. Got to get rolling on that, because JangBi's economy is just fantastic compared to Light. Okay, Light does have a nice defensive line going. Plenty of siege tanks there for the time being, laying lots of mines everywhere. Here goes JangBi. He's kind of moving around. He has 2 different groupings of units, and he could be going for a big attack, so he's moving in with an awful lot of Dragoons. He has the Zealot speed ready to go for mine dragging and stuff like that, and the 2 shuttles coming in at the exact same time. So this is a very large army from JangBi. If he does decide to attack, this could be bad for Light because he is working with minimal defenses, some Zealot bombs, Zealots doing some mind dragging into the tanks and the Vultures on the other side. I think there was I thought it was a defensive matrix there for a second, but I think it's just playing with my eyes. Light looking very sad. He does have a tank on the high ground, but that's probably not going to last too long with the shuttle in play. Shuttle will be able to drop, on top of this tank. The tank not going to last. And now hardly any tanks left for Light. I think he has maybe one tank. And this third base is completely exposed now. There's no way he's going to be able to protect this. GG from Light, knowing there was absolutely nothing he could do. And the OSL champ looking like he's right back in form. Those 2 months did nothing to JangBi's play, it seems. That was fantastic versus Terran. Okay, let's move on to the third set now.